Alright, time for stipulating the plan with Bentley.
Okay, fellas. According to the Ace's flight lineup, we'll be flying against Team Iceland and Team Belgium.
How does Iceland manage to have a flying plane team where the climate is so shitty for planes?
So, we're against Iceland and Belgium, eh?
This is not
Reykjavik
football.
versus Brussels.
This is not football, Lives. Especially because most of the action will be for mostly for us sabotaging the other teams. Specifically, Bentley has the bright idea to put the two teams against each other, so we will not put it on live. Which is
what country are we representing then?
That's a good question. They never mentioned it, probably themselves. Again, considering most of their base of operation is Paris, I'm gonna guess France.
I forget, was there actually an American team on the competition?
Oh, I don't remember, but it might. Might be. Actually, there is Joe. I remember Muggshot is part of it.
Wait, hold on. Did they confirm that he actually is part of the American team, though, or that he joined a different team?
His nationality, I forgot if they specifically mentioned it somewhere else, but, there can't be another team can be part of it.
I mean, you'd be surprised. Some people will actually join a different country on team here and there. Cristiano Ronaldo, anyone?
For a national one, I'm not sure. Unless the person is actually naturalized in the country, I don't know.
What country are we in now, actually? The Netherlands?
Netherlands lives. Alright, the first thing to do is with Sly. If I recall correctly, it's, having the guru using his mental tactics to bust in a truck that contains a prized ice sculpture for Team Iceland.
For the semi-finals tomorrow. I've given the drivers some bad directions.
The place is small as fuck. How can you give bad direction to the driver?
See, what you have to do now is you have to circle around the fountain over 10 times, then you have to go to the left, and then you have to take a right, which doesn't exist there. That's what you do, bad news.
Can you say that in Icelandic, Jova?
That lives.
I'm not as familiar with the Icelandic accent.
I'm gonna go on the leave with, but
I meant the language.
Yeah,
I'm not as familiar with the language either.
I'm gonna go on a limb and guess that if the people participating in this event, they know a common language like English.
Well, I mean, they communicate to each other in their native language.
Agreed. I'll make sure he's in position.
I wonder if there's actually an Icelandic dub of this game.
Okay, the plan is to not just open the truck, but also to get an item from Team Belgium there. And to do that, Murray will have to make one of the members of Team Belgium laugh. Okay, I actually don't know this national stereotype, but apparently Belgian people are hard to make laugh.
I've never heard of that stereotype.
I know that the closest I get is the fact that German people don't have a sense of humor.
Well, maybe it's obscure. It's an obscure stereotype, maybe too. In the same way that Portuguese being workaholic is something that usually only.
If you're a person, if you're a Belgian person in the audience and you know some of this shit, please tell us. Anyway,
I got an idea. Try telling the joke in French.
I get the feeling that maybe it's not so much a stereotype so much as it is just this one particular example where we need to make this particular guy laugh, and it's just a problem here. I mean, that is one thing we have to remember.
Okay,
not everything has to be a stereotype. Sometimes it's literally just a quirk with a character here. It's just that we tend to get used to national stereotypes in fiction because, well, that be a thing.
Yeah, Murray, your sense of humor is not really on point today. Alright, let's start something else.
I can't make heads or tails of this coin.
That's-
Get it?
Oh,
It's totally funny because, like, when you
No!
flip a
The
coin, it
moment
comes
you
out either
explain the
heads
joke, you lose
Joe,
the
I
joke.
doing that since the first time.
It's interesting because hold on, I'll wait till
Alright,
this
let's
is over.
try an impression, I guess.
That Baron, he's always, I love flying. Don't go outside. Listen to me. I'm so smart. I'm the
That's Clancy Brown's
I'm
Mr. Crab,
so
Murray. That's not the
macho.
same.
That's pretty lame, huh?
Alright, let's try for the common denominator, might as well.
Ever see someone put their fist down their throat? Ta! Hey, fish! Duck! I need help! Hey!
Well, look at that. I guess the stereotype is that Belgian people are easy to impress. You just need to do, you know, the lower common denominator thing.
Of course.
Again, why does everything have to be a stereotype? Like, again, maybe it's just a character
Well,
quirk.
Well, this is
I
up.
mean, this game has
Go
been
ahead.
consistent with stereotypes.
True. But anyway, yeah, that's what happens if I get spotted. But go on, Pedro.
The humor in this game has always been based on stuff like that, Jova. So it's
Fictional stereotypes. The representation in terms of what kind of animals are like the guards and stuff is also based on that, you know.
Nice work. Meet me outside with the goods. It's up to the guru now.
Oops. Also, Bentley just accidentally bumped into an NPC.
Oops.
I mean, I do know. I mean, actually, I do know a few. Not know exactly, but there are some Belgians that are pretty famous in the world of football.
I agree. The back door should be in the
Of
weak
course.
Ben has like,
spot. Yeah, I'm sure the guards around here won't mind too much if you break the door down with their hands. Bentley set up a waypoint on the truck. Should be handy. The thing's moving pretty fast.
I mean, it's the only moving vehicle in place, but sure, why not? Alright, simply easy stuff to do, much like in Australia. Take control of a guard, follow the truck, and start smashing into it. Well, specifically
what's
from
this
behind.
weird
actually.
purple thing?
It's the gaze of a moonstone that the guru is using. There we go. You need to do it like I think like another 3 times, but the difficulty will be ramped up because the truck starts unloading bear traps as a counter defense move. Sure, why not?
And of course.
Well, I mean, if someone rammed into your truck, wouldn't you do that?
I just no, that's the thing, Dweebs. I wouldn't really have conveniently placed bear traps to put to use. Like, I would probably just use a gun, but you know, I mean, I'm shocked that you are not proposing that solution.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, to be honest, I mean, I meant in general. I wouldn't say bear traps because I could just so easily take my hand off while I'm throwing it out.
Well, he's dead. Killed by bear traps.
I guess it's a mechanism with similar to how in action movies they spread the I forgot what they're called, the spiky things that you know that put holes in your tires.
Yeah,
Oh.
okay.
I totally don't know what's the English term right now. Also, for some reason, the Iceland truck is having a Viking helmet on it. Interesting.
Aren't Vikings? I swear there is a connection between Vikings and
Only loosely, because that's the thing. The major joke is the fact that the Viking discovered 2 pieces of land. One they called it Greenland, the other Iceland. When back then it made a
the
bit more.
Norwegian Vikings invaded in the 9th century.
Yeah, but basically the point was that the fact that back then they were, you know, they matched for that type of, you know, environment that they were having. When in reality it was the climate was shifting constantly. But I think
Ladies and
idea
gentlemen,
was-
this history with Dwibs and Tia.
The idea was literally to trick people here. They called the actual place full of greenery Iceland, and the place full of ice Greenland.
Mm-hmm.
Reverse psychology, literally, in a nutshell.
That actually reminds me of something else, the fact that, there we go. Yes, time is on the essence, I meant, you know. But there's also the fact that during those time periods, the Vikings actually arrived and at a piece in North America. And I distinctly remember there was a movie that I actually saw in cinemas about it called Outlander, The Last Viking or something. But it was so forgettable and so not even necessarily bad, just boring. But I gotta be honest, I almost completely forgot about it aside from going to see it. Alright, so the next bit to do is for Sly to actually parachute into it. Basically, this is also the other mission, the mission in this game, where if you haven't bought a parachute yet, you have to now.
But jumping inside through the roof should be easy.
But yeah, back to what I was the whole Murray explaining the joke thing. It's interesting because even though it's made by a completely different developer, it's like Senzu to look at some of the lesser stuff of this game and just decide let's magnify that crap. With the writing wise, I mean writing wise, it's weird.
If you say so.
I thought the point was that his humor is supposed to be garbage.
Yeah, the fact that
Pretty much,
the
yeah.
people managing to laugh
Well-
until his comedy. Only now, Bentley.
Thanks, mate.
There we go.
Driver must have been on
And
pretty
replacing
good
it with the
competitive.
Belgian tissue. There we go, done it.
Great work. Team Iceland is sure to blame the Belgians. They'll be all over each other in tomorrow's dogfight.
You sound oddly giddy about that.
Oh
I mean-
boy, I can't wait to. Oh boy, I can't wait to start an
Oh, hey, what the
international
fuck?
incident.
Do you think he's gonna be a villain at some point?
It'll be what? Murray? Yeah, he's starting international incident.
No, that's Bentley.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but him too.
No. I mean, well, Murray is never the type to really become a villain. No. Bentley, though, yes.
Alright, for this next mission we kinda had to do the reverse, so we had to blame Iceland on doing something to Team Belgium instead. So we have to turn this mission into kinda like the climax of a university college movie, where, you know, some characters have to enter the bedrooms of another class, because as you will see, the Belgians have essentially booby-trapped their entire place using makeshift stuff, not even a la Home Alone, but really kind of like in a college movie, like Animal House. So Sly and Murray have to reach it from the sewers. Don't worry, this is not really long, so I'm not gonna bargain to my usual shtick about sewer levels. If anything, it gives a new control scheme that is actually kind of very tolerable, so there's that.
A rowboat.
Mm-hmm.
Murray, use the left analog stick to steer the raft. Press the X button to row forward and the square button to row back.
Pretty easy, actually. You just need a bit of coordination and you're good to go. And for this first part of the track, you're basically safe. There's no real danger, right? You just need to... So basically the game kind of tutorializes you with this. There we go. Basically, you not only have to dodge the obstacles, but also there are those jets that will instead push you on another side. It's a slower version of Crash Ski Jet from Crash 2. So basically, get good at mashing the X button for this. Actually, yeah, I forgot we put some landmines, but again, these are still easy to do, and again, the game tutorializes you at the beginning on how to, you know, maneuver.
Who the hell puts landmines in a sewer?
I guess the Black Baron, in case he's that paranoid, or the cheating has become so unbearable that he had to do that.
It's a shame he didn't arrange it in a way that absolutely blockades anyone from getting through.
I guess it's challenging but fair. I don't know.
I guess.
Also, how long are these sewers? We're supposed to get under the hotel, but if we keep going like this, we're gonna get in China.
By law, sewers must be long and winding.
That's what happens in Paris, not in. Oh, I already forgot what's the name of this place.
The Neverlands, was it?
Yeah, you know, but there was a city name at the beginning. We've also read its name, but whatever.
Stay and guard the boat.
For these beats, you actually have to slide in, meaning that you don't really have control over. There you go, over your position, meaning that you have to calculate the timing right. There
Bit
you
of
go, like-
draw distance here, but no, nothing too bad.
All right, finally.
Aha!
Thankfully, we
Have fun
already
going
skipped
back.
to the point of using the air duct to get into the Belgians' bedroom.
Careful not to wake these guys up. They're a paranoid group.
Yeah, look at that. We put cards. Basically, the moment you heard something like this, the alarm will be triggered and you lose the mission immediately.
Got the keys to the room? Yeah, hold on.
Also, the Belgians apparently got plastered.
You have 'em?
Yeah, I was about to say.
No, you're the responsible one here. Let's just bang on the door.
No,
You should
please.
each have a key card, my god.
Two plaster, two
Also,
care
wow,
shield.
these Belgian accents, man.
Nice work. Head back to Murray and the raft.
Why?
Oh,
We'll just go down to the front desk and ask for a spare. You can forget about me being your wingman tomorrow.
Ooh.
I mean, seriously, you couldn't
wow.
not even one cry. You're as bad as the American sounding Scottish people in that Bond knockoff film.
Shame that it
All
won't
right,
be his wingman.
go, but the mission is not over yet. You actually have to get back from, not exactly from whence you came, but you still first have to need to get back to Murray's raft.
Whoop. So what could have turned the water green here, I wonder?
I really don't want to know.
Line?
It's a sewer, Jova. Take your guess.
Sorry, pal. The valve gates changed
Normally, the water should be brown, but green implies...
Because, you know, the poor illumination.
the direction.
Yeah, green implies mutation. sure.
Now
also,
it's radioactive. That can be
also-
good.
And also, Joe, about what you said earlier about Murray not really like much of a bad guy. He's being complicit in all this, or he's just as bad.
Not just that, remember in the Australian episode, he did mention about, you know, Bentley's plan with the crocodile to be, you know, maybe a bit over the top, but he was actually very okay with it. So it's a bit more than that, Reeves.
It's not so much he was okay with it, it's just that, you know, I guess when weighed against the consequences, it was for the greater good overall.
The greater good.
Reminder that even at default, our party isn't the most morally sound group of
No.
people in the world. So, you know,
It's good that you remember that, Shiroi, because a certain game in the series kind of forgets that.
the next
it's
one,
not-
I'm guessing.
Not just that, not just that, you two. It's more, again, it's more like from the beginning. Again, it's just the weird paradox that it's put there, but it's like constantly telling the audience, you know, and boring universe to like say Carmelita himself, that he's such a great guy because he's just, you know, operating against other criminals.
To
And he's
answer
doing
your
a favor
question,
to humanity and all, but you know, it's still not when in reality, like sometimes the end doesn't justify all of his means.
to answer the question, Shiroi, yes,
job.
especially
You really
Sly
should finesse
Cooper
with those
4.
The Murray is, and always has been, finesse.
Yeah. You good to plant this helmet on the Belgian plane?
Can do, pal. Can do with a vengeance.
And alright, now it's time instead to use Murray to go back to instead the There we go. The Belgian hangar and put the helmet there. Again, the confusion between the previous mission and this one will make sure the two teams will completely ignore Sly and instead focus on killing each other. And yes, because this competition is apparently this hardcore.
Oh, cool! Got his watch. And you dashed his brains out on the rock.
Again, also there was a hate factor. But no, again, similar to the guards, the prices that you get depending on varies depending on which country you're in. The PS3 release actually had a trophy for you managing to steal one item of each kind from from all locations, which is pretty cool. Which were not like that many, I think like 3 or 4 unique items, which also have their own different value. So.
Oh yeah, gold medal. He probably earned this in the service or something.
I guess.
But we're to assume that he is definitely a bad guy, not like a retired army man who just became a security guard or whatnot. Otherwise, that would make this very messed up.
To be fair, now again, the thing is that the guards of the Black Baron, the only bad thing you can impute to them is the fact that, again, they're essentially holding the competitors hostage for the situation, and they're very, strict about it. Again, shooting on sight, so there is that. But that's pretty much it. Also, this kind of booby trapping, Jesus.
That's Belgium's prize plane strung up from the ceiling. It's held in place by these anchors. Destroy them and the plane should come crashing down.
Seems like these lasers might roast my hulking bulk.
True. You'll have to compact yourself using your ball boom
Of course.
to travel safely beneath the laser grid.
Check.
You'll need to use your charged ball.
There we go, another creative use instead of the ball form, where you don't need to, jump instead with this, but instead use it as a pinball, essentially.
Now watch out, if you get bounced up into the lasers, you
Oh,
could
yeah, you
very
take
well
that.
get hurt. Yeah.
Excellent work. Plant the Viking helmet and the Belgians are sure to blame Team Iceland.
But now the lasers are gone.
Yeah, because again, apparently the plane crashing destroyed the control unit. Fair enough, I can do that. There we go.
It's the perfect crime.
So when's
No
Carmelita
one will
gonna show
ever
up?
know.
So when's Carmelita gonna show up then?
Later, Dweebs.
I love how. Oh, good, Dweebs. You pretty
To be fair,
much know.
Dweebs, again, the formula is not still not as repetitive as you may imagine.
Although I do love how pretty much now he knows.
Because again, as you will see, I don't think it's not in this part. In the next one, Bentley kind of has a plan to get around that potential eventuality.
I do love how at this point Dweebs knows it's second nature though to expect Carmelita to show up.
My internet pal Penelope heard a rumor that a rival air team might be stopping by to do mischief to our plane.
Mischief makers? Coming here?
That was on the
Mischief
N64.
makers?
That was on the N64 story.
Oh my god, they're making a new Mischief Makers game.
Fear not, Brainiac chum. You'll be saved by my
How long has it been since that game?
N64, Jova. Oh shit, it's Muggshot.
Greetings, troglodytes. Didn't think I forgot about Mesa City, did you?
Oh snap, we're really bringing back all the continuity, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
You and what army? Dumb
You didn't have to say it, Larry.
Okay, boys. I paid you up good enough. Time to track some skulls.
So yeah, first of all is essentially an endurance round with Murray. What you need to do, there you go, is to repel the goons and at the same time use press a button in order to put a piece of a contraption against the Muggshot. That way, that's the only way you can use to damage him. Damage him enough, and he won't be able to hold the doors of the hangar anymore. And at least that round will be over.
You know, listening to Mugshot again, I'm wondering if he's going for an accent himself. Jesus Christ.
Well, there was already in the first game remember
Oh, yeah.
he based his own growing up based on the gangsters movies like The Dog Father. So there is that.
I love how his mooks are technically people who should be security.
He mentioned it. He actually bribed them to do that.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, right in the solar plexus. Don't think this is over, meatball. You're not untouchable. This is just the beginning of a...
He's not joking. This is actually one of the more toughest missions in the game.
Mugshot wasn't making idle threats. I'm reading multiple hostiles.
I can hear what you're saying.
Toward our position.
Alright, so it's time for some prototype of night. Well, not prototype, but who wants to play some Night Trap?
Come here. Yep, Night Trap.
Speak within the cameras and use the triangle, circle, X, and square buttons to activate the traps if you see one of the mooks roaming around there.
Lovely.
The game is actually relatively generous in a sense that if the mooks get past that, it's not game over immediately because Murray will be able to fend them off a few, but try not to screw up too much or it will still be game over.
So to be fair, they're launching the first strike on us. That makes it okay what is going to happen.
It's also the fact that they abandoned their duty to be bribed by Mugshot, who is still technically an actual ruthless criminal. So
which is why it is okay to burn them, push them into the water, slam them with metal spikes here and there. Oh, and freeze them to death as well.
Obviously.
We're the good guys.
All entirely valid.
Oh, and also lasering them too. Yeah, that's nice.
Nice little burn, I guess.
Also, the fact that Bentley actually had to, plan this. He actually was expecting this kind of thing.
We stopped that group, Murray, but it looks like more are on the way.
Of course.
And they're packing explosives.
Of course. Basically, that was your checkpoint. And basically,
A checkpoint during a Night Trap segment.
True, I forgot. The original Night Trap basically was a one-time deal in a sense that you couldn't actually stop in between.
Well, yeah. If I remember correctly, yes, there was no save system. No, it was basically literally just you turn it on and try your best to not die, and if you die, you just start over. Basically, yeah.
Okay.
Did you like Night Trap?
Not
It's
really.
To make fun of Jova, but that's literally it. As a concept, it's neat, I guess, but it wouldn't be justifiable
An
for
FMV a 90s FMV game lives and dies by how good its writing and story, and acting is, and most of them were well.
Wasn't that game like one of the few ways people could watch porn while playing a game at the time?
Nah, that's just a myth. Like, there's no actual nudity of anything. You don't even get boobs or anything.
Again, I honestly don't even know in what way Night Trap actually contributed to the creation of the ESRB.
Here's the most graphic the game gets, Jova, is a woman a woman with a nightgown being tortured, and by torture I mean the most G-rated torture you can imagine.
What, is it like somebody obscures her from the back or whatnot, and we hear a scream?
They're apparently drilling some kind of thing into her neck. I don't really know what that thing is.
Night Trap kind of starts as a generic people are trying to invade the house because they're like robbers or something, and then it turns into this weird vampire cult stopping thing. It's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there you go. This is what happens. There you go. Murray will defend automatically. You don't need to control him, but as you can see, your airplane actually has a L bar. So, again, be careful. But yeah, Joe, but again, Night Trap is so weird, but gonna be honest, compared to stuff that was coming out at the same time, I don't think it should have been, pointed out for the creation of the SRB.
Yeah.
No,
that's
the primary culprit was clearly the first Mortal Kombat, not so much that one, because unlike Night Trap, Mortal Kombat actually was super popular. So
anyway, here you go. Here's Penelope. First time we see her. And yes, the Dutch mouse, that's what she is. And let me get in the meantime her voice actress. But her shtick is, like we mentioned, she's good also at hacking, but also RC chopper controlling. And for this time only, she will be willing to give us a hand, a sort of a taste to what her gameplay feels like. There we go. Annette Tutongi, which you might be familiar if you played the Freddy Fish video games, because she plays the protagonist there. She's still getting work to this day, mind you, but it's mostly been basically TV stuff. I think aside from Freddy Fish and these were her only video game roles. Basically, RC Chopper works in a different way. You might have got a snippet from the beginning. Essentially, she has a tug attached to it. You need to drop it onto the enemies and then pull. This creates a sort of a weird effect that launches the enemy into the air and essentially kills them by laws of physics alone.
Some enemies require a few yanks to defeat. To maximize your power, boost in one direction, pull on the cable, then turn around and boost the other way.
That's right. Tell her how to use her own RCs. You are that smart, Bentley.
Yeah, this bitch should have been Penelope telling this to herself or something. I mean, if it was the Guru, it would have made a bit more sense, considering he's not, used to talk aside from gibberish. So it's the proxy that the other characters are repeating for the sake of the audience. So that makes sense.
Gotta give Penelope credit though. Her RCs are powerful and they take out freaking tanks.
Yeah, that deadly.
Like, the future really is now, I guess.
And it's well, again, I guess these in a way predicted drones. Just you don't really need a gun, just a very robust rope and a hook.
Buy now for $19.99, folks. The RC helicopter, able to take out the latest in military tanks for reals.
Nitro fuel sold separately. Yes, again, the third bit of this mission goes on for quite a bit, and enemies are coming from all over the place. So again, overall, this being essentially an escort mission and all is actually one of the toughest of the game, because despite the fact that you're using technically like 3 different health bars to represent the situation, they can still go down relatively quickly if you're not paying attention. In terms of prioritizing, you don't really have, that, like, if like a tank and a normal enemy are coming in, you can still, tackle them in the order you prefer, because the common enemy is taken out very easily, so it's a matter of potentially speed. You don't really have a problem with that.
So I'll admit to you, at this point I was starting to wonder, maybe the Black Baron really sucks at security if he's not able to hear the obvious explosions going on outside.
Remember, Penelope works for him, meaning that, she should know the fact that some of these people have actually defected. In fact, that's the entire reason why she's helping you.
Yes, because they defected, but still though, I think we're doing a good job showing why we'd be better working for the why we'd be better for her to work for rather than the Black Baron himself.
Yeah.
Again, though, you gotta wonder, what is the Black Baron doing during all of this?
Probably eating some waffles. I don't know. What's the typical food in the Netherlands? Let me see.
Whoop.
Ah, there we go. The Dutch pancakes, stroop waffle, raw herring, ice, and cheese. True, I forgot about the cheese.
Great job, Penelope. You're the best RC pilot I've ever seen.
Those thugs deserved it. No one sells out the Black Baron and walks away scot-free.
That's hardcore.
Well said.
Murray gets the credit because this is what the mission started with.
Of course.
Supply arrives at the team hangar. We'll prep the plane and...
Sorry. Basically, now it's cutting away to Sly instead.
Almost time
There we go.
for
To actually prepare for the actual dogfight.
And we made it all the way to the semifinals already.
Mm-hmm.
Stay sharp, Sly. Iceland and Belgium will be at each other's throats up there, but you're still outnumbered.
Relax, Mom. This is gonna be great.
It's not the moment, Sly. Alright. The controls of a plane are relatively easy. And but you need to still be on your toes because 1, you have limited ammo. You can refill them relatively easily because there are ammo packs all over the place. But instead you cannot replenish your health for this mission, meaning that you need to make your life bar count. So if you get that damage too much, you might as well actually try to restart.
Yes, Sucker Punch. I did play Crash Bandicoot 3.
To be fair, the controls here are a bit smoother than the plane in Crash 3. And this time you don't have to actually defeat the big targets, but focus instead of the smaller ones that that are only like in this definitive number, but you get a counter on the bottom left, bottom right corner. But no, you can also do the standard maneuvers you can think of, barrel roll, somersault, all that kind of stuff. The weird thing is that the planes take quite a beating to get, to go down, meaning that you will actually need to waste a lot of ammo onto them. And similar to the turret section from also the previous game, you do consume a lot of energy through each shooting, meaning that again, you need to familiarize a bit with this particular flying level in order to see where the ammo packs are collected, what's the ideal route to not get shot by the other planes, You also have a turbo, but you don't really need it because the planes are moving slow enough, and you should be able to, actually handle them.
So, Tio.
Yes.
Comparing these plane flying levels to ones in Crash Bandicoot, how would you compare?
I just said it, Lives.
So I kind of had to go off for a bit.
They're similar, but again, the objectives are slightly different. Focus on the smaller targets instead of a bigger one. So otherwise, the plane controls are a bit smoother than that. The only major difference here is that you don't have ways to refill your health bar. So
because the ones, maybe it's because they're the only ones in these, but I remember the ones from Crash mostly. The ones in Crash 3 because of its better gameplay, and the ones in Crash Raptor Cortex because of the music.
I mean, there's not much else in that competition, Lives. That's literally the only case.
This is a very niche thing. Who has the better platformer with airplane shooting segment bits in it?
Technically speaking, Star Fox,
Yeah, well, Star Fox isn't a platformer.
Tell that to, Adventures in Assault.
Traditionally a platformer.
Oh, well, okay,
and to a lesser extent, Zero.
I'm gonna tell a slight lie because Assault is not really a platformer, but more of a third-person shooter. Fair enough.
I heard Assault was good.
Yeah, it's okay.
It is actually.
Honestly. I like its story, and the gameplay is more robust, and definitely, the shot in the needle that Branches was needing after Adventures. It's just very that unfortunate timing, because I think it's one case where it's being vindicated by history.
Assault, that's the one with the multiple endings, right?
No, that's Command Java on the DS.
I feel like...
Assault is the one that was made by Banco.
Assault at the...
Star Fox Command on the DS.
Yeah,
and then everyone's favorite, Star Fox Adventures.
Yeah, well, I mean, there you are. I guess I kind of read as the whole. From what I've heard of Adventures, it kind of indicated that maybe Microsoft, but maybe Rare being bought by Microsoft wasn't the catalyst as to its downfall. It was just a red
Not
flag.
really. Remember, Dweebs, the whole game was just, being restructured from the ground up because of miscommunication between Rare and Nintendo.
Fun fact, recently, the original N64 version of Dinosaur Planet leaked. You can find it on YouTube.
Yeah,
what is it with Rare titles and getting leaked recently?
Like, there's that awesome 007 remake that, just got leaked entirely, and now this. I mean, seriously, what's next? The first phase of Banjo and Kazooie that was supposed to be about some Chrono lookalike guy with a sword?
I don't know.
Rare, I think someone stuck all the way over to Twycross and just secretly nicking their stuff.
I mean, Jesus, at this rate, there's probably a hidden Banjo free that's gonna get leaked.
Would be neat to have something like a beta of the original Killer Instinct to tinker with.
Well, Joe, but there are reasons to believe that Nuts and Bolts was originally planned to be Banjo free. It's just it's just that somebody thought it would be a good idea to not do that.
Believe it or not, Pedro, Nuts and Bolts was originally going to be a fancy remake. Why do I say fancy remake? Well, the idea was like, it would start off like the original, but little by little things would change until Banjo and Kazooie realized, oh my god, we're in a remake. Kind of a bit similar to what Conker's Bad Fur Day Fully Reloaded seemed like it was doing at first, until it pretty much just eschewed that after the gargoyle bits.
Anyway, see you for the next part where we try to win the rest of the competition of a Black Baron. See ya.
See ya.
See ya.
Yeah.